Hello, my name is Jahari Guevara. Thank you very much for joining me. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and build an advanced conditional logic ClickFunnels process, actually a email confirmation process using ClickFunnels. And this is a process that I'm going to go ahead and use. So the minute a data or a form is filled out within ClickFunnels, that information is going to go through this conditional logic that I'm going to go ahead and build out. And based on this information, we could go ahead and send email A or email B. In my previous email, I go into depth in this process, in this conditional logic process that I'm building. So in this video, I'm just going to go ahead and create everything from start to finish. So one of the first things I need to go ahead and do is actually create a form in my landing page, and I'm using this demo account. So first thing, I'm going to go ahead and actually build out the form so I could be able to enter the information, and so I could be able to start processing this information. Okay, just build out my form. I have my first and last name, phone number, and email. It's always best to go ahead and separate the first and last name instead of having both names in one, because it makes it much more difficult moving forward if you want to go ahead and build a more advanced process. So for the first, I guess for this round, we're going to go ahead and just capture first and last name and phone number, because later future video, I'm going to go ahead and show how we could go ahead and get a text message, SMS, the minute I submit this form. Okay. So now that I have my form set, the next thing I need to go ahead and do is actually set up my webhook and actually select, we're going to go ahead and start from the automation software. This automation software that I'm going to go ahead and use is Zoho Flow. You guys could be able to go ahead and use Zappier or any other software out there. All of them kind of work the same. My preference is Zoho Flow. In my previous video, I kind of go over and the reason why I like to use Zoho Flow, and I will advocate for you to go ahead and start using Zoho Flow because of its features. But first, we're going to go ahead and set up a webhook. So we're going to call this one ClickFunnels Submit Form, create, and we're going to go ahead and configure a webhook. Copy this code. Now we're going to go ahead and go next and leave this testing. Now minimize this, go back to ClickFunnels, and now I go back into actually cancel and save this. And before I move forward, let me go ahead and make sure that the form is actually embedded into the site. I'm not too sure why it's not popping up here, but either way, I'm just going to go ahead and select preview and preview the landing page here. And we have this information is already pre-populated because I was testing earlier. But first we need to go ahead and actually set up um, the webhook. And to do that, we go into settings. In settings, we go to webhook and add new endpoint. And here we're going to go ahead and paste that URL that we actually copied from our Zoho Flow. Here we're going to go ahead and name the webhook, and we're going to go ahead and name it testing form. Okay. And the type of events I want to go ahead to have this webhook fired on is whenever a contact is actually created. But based on our flow, we actually have a conditional logic that if multiple different contacts submit the same form, we want to go ahead and send this customized email based on how many entries they submitted. So we're going to go ahead and actually look for a trigger that allows us to do that. Okay, we have form submission here. We're going to go ahead and create a point. And we have this webhook is already installed. Let's go ahead and test it. We're going to go back into our landing page. I'm going to go ahead and just submit this, and let's see if it fired our webhook. And it did fire our webhook. We have this information, and this is what the webhook sends us. We could go ahead and see the payload based on this testing. We could go ahead and kind of configure that webhook. We're good to go. So now we could go ahead and move forward into our build out. To do that, let me go ahead and quickly take a look at the at the diagram. We're going to go ahead and submit this form, and we're going to use Google Sheets to be able to go ahead and um, grab this information. Okay, so I'm going to go back into um, Google, actually to Zoho Flow, and establish our Google Sheets. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and select Google Sheets, create a row, and we're going to go ahead and connect with our Google. And we're going to use our demo account, allow. And currently right now it doesn't give me no sheets, so I need to go back to Google and actually create a document. Okay, I have my Google Sheet already created. I have the demo CRM sheet that's going to act as our regular CRM, and we're going to have a form submitted depository records of all the forms being submitted. Okay, the one thing I forgot to add is date entered. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as is. Now we're going to go back into our Zoho Flow and configure this flow with that sheet. And to do that, let me go ahead and just reconnect. We have the demo, but the form that we're going to be using is a form submitted sheet. And from here, we're going to go ahead and add the information that we got from ClickFunnels. We're going to get the first name. We're going to add the last name. And to do that, you could just select the attribute, and you could just map it out really easy. This could also be done in Zapier as well, or any other form entry. From here, we go ahead and add the current date. Done. Now the next thing we need to go ahead and do is fetch information from we need to go ahead and fetch our records from our CRM. So we're going to use our demo CRM, and we're going to go ahead and fetch based on any criteria, any value. So we're going to go ahead and actually use email as our main source of information that we could go ahead and fetch that information. Now we have to go ahead and build a conditional logic. To do that, just drag that off. And now I need to go ahead and look for the row ID on the fetched item, which is a fetch that information from the CRM. And based on this information, if this information is not available, then we're going to go ahead and just select it's null. That means it's not available. That does not exist in the CRM. We're going to label this decision, this criteria, results from the CRM. And we're going to go ahead and just add this contact is null. And if I go back into um, the conditional logic, we can go ahead and see what we're trying to do. First, this information goes in from ClickFunnels. We're going to go ahead and add this information into our CSV file to be able to go ahead and collect this information. Once it gets done, we're going to go ahead and fetch this information from the CRM. And based on the results, we're going to go ahead and take this furthermore in this conditional logic. But that we run out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and extend this video to part 2. I'll see you there. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.